controlled breeding, that is AI, that is called artificial insemination, and MOED, that is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. So science of breeding and raising the livestock as per human requirement is called animal husbandry. What are the three kinds of outbreeding? Outcrossing, crossbreeding, and interspecific hybridization. Hi everyone, welcome back to yet another revision class of chapter 9 of 2nd PUC called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. So chapter 9 of 2nd PUC biology syllabus called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. What are we going to study in this particular chapter? We are going to study about what are the strategies that are implemented to increase the food production. That is very, very important from examination point of view. So this chapter is also very important from examination point of view. Moving on to the chapter weightage for this particular chapter called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. The weightage of marks is 8 marks. So what is the distribution of the 8 marks for this particular chapter? 1 marker question, you'll get 1 question. 2 marker question, you'll get 1 question. And 5 marker question, you're going to get 1 question. So what is the weightage of marks for this particular chapter? It is 8 marks. So in that 8 marks, 1 question will be of 1 mark. And 1 question will be of 2 marks. And 1 question will be of 5 marks. So total it is 8 marks. Now let us understand what will be the synopsis part of this particular chapter and what are the type of questions that are asked from this particular chapter from examination point of view. As we all know that food is the prime requirement of all living organisms, particularly animals. So food is very, very important requirement. We can call it as a basic requirement of all living organisms to survive and to carry on all the functions. So for production of sufficient food against ever increasing population of country is really challenging. As we all know that Indian population is increasing day by day enormously, and to meet the demands of the enormous population, production of food is a challenge. So we cannot stick on to the old conventional methods of food production. We need to come out with different strategies or different techniques in producing enormous amount of food. That is what we are going to study in this particular chapter. What are the strategies and the techniques that are implemented to produce enormous quantity of food? So hence several biological principles and new techniques have been employed to animal husbandry and plant breeding to increase food production. As we all know that animal husbandry is very, very important means of food production, where it is an agricultural technique of breeding and raising the livestock, may it be like the cow, buffalo, pigs, then sheep, goat, etc. for the products. So hence, as I said, production of enormous food to meet the increasing population of our country is really a challenge. Now, animal husbandry, as I have already said, animal husbandry. So, animal husbandry is nothing but an agricultural technique of breeding and raising the livestock, may it be like the cow, buffalo, pigs, then the goat, sheep, etc. So, management of farms and farm animals. For example, like we have the dairy farm management. So, dairy farm management and poultry farm management are an extended forms of animal husbandry. They are the extended forms of animal husbandry. Dairy farm management, that is raising of the cows for their milk and the milk products. Poultry farm management, that is the domestication of the fowls for the meat and for the eggs. Then, what are the, as I said, we cannot stick on to the good old conventional method for the production of food. We need to come out with modern techniques. So, what will it be like? What are the techniques that are applied in animal breeding? That is inbreeding, outbreeding, and in outbreeding it is outcrossing and crossbreeding. Then moving on to the interspecific hybridization, where we come across crossing between two different species. Then controlled breeding, that is AI, that is called artificial insemination, and MOET, that is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. For example, like we move on to the controlled breeding like AI and MOET. AI stands for artificial insemination. Then MOET is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. Multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. Then plant breeding, single cell protein, that is SCP, then tissue culture. All these are the different techniques that are applied to improve the food production. Not only improve the food production but also to increase the quality. Moving on to the, now let us discuss about the one marker question. So what type of questions are going to appear from this particular chapter with reference to 1 mark? So what is animal husbandry? As I already said, science of breeding and raising the livestock. What are all the livestock? What are all the animals which come under livestock? Like the cow, buffalo, pigs, horses. Then even we come across the sheep, then the goat, etc. As per human requirement is called animal husbandry. So science of breeding and raising the livestock as per human requirement is called animal husbandry. Next, what is a breed? Group of animals related by descent and similar in most of all the characters like appearance, configuration, size, etc. is known as a breed. What is a breed? Group of animals related by descent, origin and similar in most of all the characters like appearance, configuration, size, etc. is known as what? Breed. Next, define inbreeding depression. So, reduction in the fertility. What is inbreeding depression? This is the most common question which is asked in the examination. What is inbreeding depression? Reduction in the fertility and productivity in a population due to repeated inbreeding. So, repeated inbreeding will lead to what? Inbreeding depression. So, reduction in the fertility and productivity in a population due to repeated inbreeding. Now, how is a mule produced? As we already discussed about interspecific hybridization, where by crossing a male ass with a female horse, we get a animal called mule. Mule is stronger, hardier than compared to other animals. So, mule is much stronger, hardier and can do any hard work. Right. So, how do we get it? How is mule produced? Mule is produced by crossing male ass and a female horse. Then expand MOET. Already I told you sometimes like abbreviations they will be given for 1 marker question. Like expand AI. AI stands for what? Artificial insemination. MOET, multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. Next, what is cryopreservation? Storing of semen in liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees centigrade is known as what? Cryopreservation. So these are all like the type of questions which may appear in the board examination. Next, for 2 marker question. Now let us discuss about the 2 marker question. Question number 1. Name the method of animal breeding. So what will be the method of animal breeding? That is inbreeding and outbreeding. What are the 3 kinds of outbreeding? Outcrossing, crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization. Right. So inbreeding, outbreeding, outcrossing, crossbreeding, interspecific hybridization. List the advantages of artificial insemination. So what are the advantages of AI? Maintenance cost of bull do not exist. Collected semen is stored in vial and can be transported to distant places. Then semen can be used to inseminate more than 1 cow. So all these are the advantages for going for AI technique. Next, question number 3. List any 4 important components of poultry farm management. So what are the important things which we need to bear in mind while going for a poultry farm management, which is an extended form of animal husbandry? Selection of disease-free and suitable breeds is very, very important. Going for poultry farm, we should select the fowls or the birds in such a way that they are disease-free breeds. Proper and safe farm conditions, very important. So wherever they rear domesticated fowls, so it should be safe farm conditions. Then proper feeding and water. So proper feed management is very important. Maintenance of hygiene and health care. So all these are the very important components which we need to bear while going for a poultry farm management. Next, question number 4. Name the rice varieties used in India. IR18 and Taichung Native 1 are semi-dwarf rice varieties introduced to India in 1966 from IRRI Philippines. What is IRRI standing for? International Rice Research Institute in Manila, that is Philippines. Next, question number 5. What is somatic hybrid? Give example for somatic hybrids. So, what is somatic hybridization? Protoplast hybrid obtained by fusing isolated protoplasts of two different species is called as what? Somatic hybrid. I repeat, what is somatic hybrid? Protoplast hybrid obtained by fusing. So, somatic hybrid is a protoplast. The very word itself will tell you. Obtained by fusing what? Isolated protoplast of what? Two different species. For example, we have tomato and bromato. Then, moving on to the 5-marker questions. What will be the type of questions that are asked for 5-marker question? Give examples of crop varieties developed by hybridization and selection for disease resistance. So, you can see the tabular column here. One is crop, the other one is varieties and the resistancy. First one, wheat. So, the variety that was developed called Himagiri, resistant to what? Resistant to leaf and stripe rust and hill bunt disease. Second one, brassica, that is Pusa swarnim, that is Karanmai, resistant to white rust disease. Third one, cauliflower, Pusa shubra, variety, one variety is Pusa shubra, the other one is Pusa and the other one is snowball K1, resistant to black rot disease, curl blight disease and black rot disease. Then cowpea, that is Pusa komal, resistant to bacterial blight disease. 5 chili, Pusa sadabahar, resistance to tobacco mosaic virus, chili mosaic virus and leaf curl virus. So, this is very important. For example, as I said, for 5-marker question, they might ask split questions. So, in that split questions, you may get the crop, the varieties and what are they resistant to. Next, moving on to the next question for 5-marker question. What is meant by biofortification? Very important question which is usually commonly asked in the board examination. Write the significance of biofortification. First, what is meant by biofortification? Development of micronutrient rich crops using conventional method of breeding and modern technology is known as what? Biofortification. How do we define the word called biofortification? Development of micronutrient rich crops using what? Using both the conventional method of breeding as well as modern technology is known as what? Biofortification. What is the significance? What is the advantage of going for biofortification? Crops created by biofortification are known as what? Biofortified crops. These crops made to overcome hidden hunger, that is particularly it will have all the nutrients and so that the nutrients will be replaced to the human beings or to the animals. That is, these crops made to overcome hidden hunger conditions. Then biofortified maize plant is having twice the amount of amino acid called lysine and tryptophan compared to the existing hybrid. Next, iron biofortified rice is having 5 times more than iron content. So, biofortified rice will have iron content how much? 5 times greater than the normal one. Then biofortified wheat variety Atlas 66 is having high protein content. Then biofortified bitter gourd, batua, mustard, tomato is having what? Vitamin C. Then biofortified carrot, pumpkin, spinach contain what? Vitamin C. Then biofortified spinach and batua has more iron and calcium content. So, all these are the advantages or the significance of biofortification. Then, moving on to the next 5-marker question. Explain multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. Short form is what? MOET. Moed stands for what? Multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. So multiple ovulation is also called as what? Super ovulation. It is also called as super ovulation. What is it? Inducing the cow to produce more than one egg at a time using FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and prostaglandin F2 alpha is known as multiple ovulation. So what is multiple ovulation? Inducing the cow to produce, multiple means what? More ova. Inducing the cow to produce more than one egg at a time using FSH and prostaglandin F2 alpha is known as multiple ovulation. So what will happen by this? The cow releases 6 to 8 eggs instead of one egg. Hence the name super ovulation or multiple ovulation. See, by this technique called moed, cow releases how much? 6 to 8 eggs instead of one egg per cycle. Super ovulated cow is either artificially inseminated or mated with male individual having desirable characters. Later on, super ovulated cow is either artificially inseminated or mated with male individual having desirable characters. Fertilized eggs are collected from super ovulated cow using catheter. So all these are the different steps. Next, what is the next step? Fertilized eggs are allowed to grow on nutrient medium till they attain 8 to 32 cell stage. Then synchronization of surrogate mother using hormones is done. Next, what is very important is what? Embryo transfer. What will they do? Transferring the 8 after developing it up to what stage? 8 to 32 cell stage. Then transferring 8 to 32 cell stage embryo onto the uterus of surrogate mother. Mother is called what? Embryo transfer. Right? So that's the reason why this technique is called moed. Multiple ovulation, and thereon comes the embryo transfer. So transferring 8 to 32 cell stage embryo onto the uterus of surrogate mother is called embryo transfer. High milk yielding breed of female and high quality meat yielding bull are mated by this technology to increase the herd size. The very important is to increase the herd size. Right? High milk yielding breed of female and high quality meat yielding bull are mated by this technology to increase the herd size in short time. So at the end of this chapter, what are all the things you are going to learn at the end of this chapter called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production? What will be the learning outcomes? At the end of this chapter, you will be able to define as to what is animal husbandry and describe the management of farms and farm animals like dairy farm and poultry farm management. Describe the different methods of animal breeding, inbreeding, outbreeding, then outcrossing, crossbreeding, all that. Advantages and disadvantages of each of them. Describe beekeeping, that is honey beekeeping. Then explain fisheries as an industry. As we know, the blue revolution that has been done, enormous production of fishes. Then list the factors leading to green revolution. As we know, Professor M.S. Swaminathan is called the father of green revolution, who developed the wheat and the rice through various techniques. Then describe the steps in plant breeding for disease resistant. Already I discussed about biofortification with example. What are the significance of biofortification? Then mutation breeding, explain single cell protein, its advantages with example. Define, explain the terms explant, totipotency of cells, tissue culture, micropropagation, somatic hybridization. List the major applications of tissue culture and micropropagation. All these are the things, learning outcomes, what you will learn at the end of this particular chapter. Moving on to the brief recap with the flow charts. Strategies for enhancement in food production, steps in plant breeding program. So what are the steps that are involved in plant breeding program? First one is what? Collection of variability. Second one is what? Evaluation and selection of parents. Next is what? Cross hybridization, selection and testing of superior recombinants, testing, release and commercialization, and ligation of new cult. All these are the different steps that are involved in plant breeding programs. That is collection of variability, evaluation and selection of parents, cross hybridization, selection and testing of superior recombinants, testing, release and commercialization, ligation of new cultivars. Then the Indian hybrid crops that are developed by green revolution, already we know wheat and rice, sugarcane and millets. Then Plant breeding for improved food quality through biofortification and through single cell protein. Through single cell protein. Then micropropagation, that is obtained, that is tissue culture, where we also use the word called micropropagation. So producing of soma clones through meristem culture. Then methods of breeding are two types, conventional method and mutation method. Then animal breeding, that is inbreeding, then outbreeding. In outbreeding, we have this method outcrossing, crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization, where we discuss about mule. Then different control breeding methods like MOET, that is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer. Then AI, that is artificial insemination. Hope you all have understood the important concepts what I explained in this revision class of this chapter called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. And also I have discussed some of the questions that may appear, or the probable questions which you may get for the board examination. So this is how the questions are asked pertaining to this particular chapter called Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production of 2nd PUC Biology. Thank you.